Hey, welcome to Bears Banter. My name's Bernard Muhammad. I'm a little pissed off today. You got Jay Beasley. Next to him, Keith Floyd, known as Plank. Below, you got David Bird. You got Dr. Quick on. And you got a guy, you can't see his face. Bears fall 21-16. None of us here imagined that the Bears would actually start off the season like this. You know, we had a lot of high hopes for the Bears. I know you got a long season, but what's going on, guys?
Nothing.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you straight. I can't do this for 14 more games. Can't do it. I can't do it. Y'all gonna have to come get me.
And you know, people look at Caleb Williams' stats and think that the Bears will score more than 16 points. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. You know, I had people texting me and hitting me on Facebook like, Caleb makes the guy, Caleb makes the guy. I just refuse to believe that because the bottom line is this offensive coordinator is not putting Caleb in a position to win. When you got a bad offensive line, you have to continue to run the football. If you get 2 yards, 3 yards in the cloud of dust, you have to continue to run the football because if you don't have a threat of a run, the passing game is not going to succeed. He got a lot of yards in what I consider garbage time, you know, and he wound up throwing for 2 touchdowns, 363. If anybody saw that game and thought that Caleb Williams threw for 363 yards, they would have thought the Bears scored 30 points.
30 points.
But that wasn't the case. Shane Waldron, you need to really get this together because, again, you know, players need to execute. They need to execute. But the bottom line is you don't put this kid in a situation like this. Every time I take you off, it's 34 again. It's 34 again. First and 10, they get 6 yards. 6 yards with a run. And then second down, 2nd and 4, here they come with the pass. Come on, man. It's not a climb to run the ball 3 times in a row. It's not a climb.
Yeah, I agree, Jay. The Bears right now offensively, they have no clue who they are. Matter of fact, you know, a guy always made a joke about taking that control stick from Nagy a few years ago. Take that control stick from and just give Waldron give him something else. But you know what? You had your rookie quarterback drop back. I think I counted 58 times. He had 53 attempts. Mm-hmm. You know, you come to that number because he was sacked 4 times and then he had a fumble. So that's about 58 dropbacks. That's ridiculous. He should not be throwing the ball more than 20 times right now, regardless of the score. And so I'm not sure what his objective is, but he doesn't know what he's doing.
Predictable. You run 83 plays and get 16 points. It's like you run 1st and 10. You run 6 yards. Next play, they know you're going to pass it, or you're going to run it and get 1. Next first down, you pass it for 6 yards. They know you're going to run it. They called an audible into the defense. So it's like it's not that. I mean, just like we all talk about marriages. You know, plays are supposed to be married together to make the offense flow. But I don't know what they're doing. I figure they're going to sit a lot of folks. So it's like 6 of us, man. Let's go get a spot. I'll be, who would I be?
Yeah.
I'll be Tevin Jenkins. I'm a trip people.
Yeah.
Hey, just real quick. Since y'all said marriage, celebrating 29 years tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, he's still alive.
Congratulating your wife. You for 29 years, brother.
Right.
Yeah, Miss J, I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. We're really celebrating 29 years tomorrow.
Congrats.
Yes, Saint. She got to be Saint.
Congratulations, Keisha and Jay.
Right. Well, hey, I took some notes. I'm just going to run through a little bit of it. And I'm sure you guys saw the same thing. First of all, unable to run the ball. Look, every other team that played them ran the ball for over 200 yards. The first 2 teams, we ended up running barely, 70 yards if that. So we weren't able to run the ball. Same issues. Jenkins, he was getting bull rushed. by a smaller defender, like on pivotal downs. Like, so there were times when Caleb should have been able to climb the pocket and make throws, but he couldn't do it because Jenkins is getting bull rushed straight up the middle of the, into the pocket. So that was a problem. When Caleb had a clear pocket and it was clean, he threw some good balls. I got to give him credit for that. When he had a clean pocket now. He made some bad decisions on some other balls, but when he had a clean pocket, he was okay. He threw some good balls. I was kind of encouraged by some of that. One other thing was that goal line, when that fourth down, first of all, they had some bad personnel groupings during that.
Game long.
They had Carter trying to block a defensive
end.
He blew that play up completely. That's a bad grouping, man. They had the wrong personnel out there at that time. And here, brothers, let me tell you this. I coached for a long time, and when I had a play sheet, I had a box in the corner of my play sheet. These are the plays that I know for sure. Every time I run it, I got a 9 out of 10 chance of making a successful play out of it, right? You can't tell me that option was in that box.
Right.
There's no way that play was in that box, man. You can't tell me that, man. I watched that. I'm like, that can't be on his play sheet. Like, at least not in the position on 4th and goal when you need a score. That can't be the play, man.
It's for the inches. It ain't even 4th and 1.
It was inches, right? You said. So, I mean, they should have stayed in 12 personnel early on. And for people who don't know that, 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends. They should have stayed into that, and they should, like you said, bro, they should run that. If you're getting 3 or 4 yards a carry, you can run it 3 times, you move the chain, right? First down. The Bears had, let me look at when I look at my notes, the Bears had on their 3rd down efficiency, right? So they were 9 for 21. So that means that they in 3rd down way more than they should be. So they're not getting first downs and they're not flipping the chain. So, some teams, they go from first down to first down to first down. Some go from second down to first down. These dudes, 21 times, 3rd down. They were 9 for 21 on 3rd down alone. 4th down, which we shouldn't be in, but we were 4 out of 5 on 4th down conversion. So that's great, but we shouldn't be in 4th down that much. I mean, that's bad. So it might sound good on the record sheet. You look at it, you're like, wow, that's pretty good, but you're in 4th down too much. So, at the end of the
So, oh man, they got you.
Okay. But
there you go.
But man, I just wanted to put a couple things out there. So
you was killing it. You killed it. Man. Yeah.
What you got, Quick?
Man, I am upset. You talking about you pissed off? I felt like I got pissed on. Shoot. It is, man.
Sprinkle.
Yeah. Like Dog said, Bird just said, man, we talking about some bad personnel, bad play calling. You dropping back 58 times and hoping that this rookie is going to give you something. I said on the pregame, man, Aaron Rodgers only threw the ball 35 times last Thursday. So we dropped back the pass 20 more times than one of the best quarterbacks to ever play this game. So what do we expect to happen? And you talking about that 4th and 1 play was the worst play in NFL history. That was the worst play in history. You on 4th and inches with goal to go. I would have been satisfied, one, if you kicked the field goal, or because you were still in the game with a field goal, or run a quarterback sneak. What if there is nothing wrong but taking a handoff taking a snap from under the center. We see this stuff all the time now in all these high school games, all these college games. Everybody want to spread and everything like that. Kevin Jenkins needs to get his game check back. Like, he shouldn't even accept his game check. He needs to donate that whole check to charity somewhere.
Somebody turn their TV down.
Yeah, somebody TV.
Turn the TV down.
that performance there was flat out
Catch you.
atrocious, man. And the other thing that I always say, you trying to run play action pass and haven't established a run yet. So nobody's even biting on that stuff. Right? That one play that he fumbled on, I'm sitting there like, why is it taking so long for this play to develop? And it was on a first down. You haven't even no. But here's the other thing too. The reason why we in fourth down so much is because that's when they want to throw the deep ball on third down instead of on first down.
Mm-hmm.
We want to throw the deep ball on third down. We got a 3rd and 4. We was in constant 3rd and 4 the whole game, and we want to take shots then. And that's not a recipe on being successful and putting this rookie in the best possible situation to come out with wins for this football team. Shane Waldron has to get it together because it looks like we're watching Getsy Part 2. This is bad, right?
Yeah.
And you keep seeing Caleb made some mistakes today, but those mistakes are what comes with a rookie quarterback. That's just what comes with it. And you hope that your defense can be successful. I said this in our text group. Jonathan Taylor was getting stopped a lot of times.
But they kept running the football.
It kept running the ball. He finally creased here and there, broke out for the 1 touchdown, then came back, ran some more big yardage. But that's the thing. So we got this 3-headed monster at running back. Nobody can get into the field of the game. You gotta ride one guy like, hey man, we're gonna run this one guy at least this one series.
Yeah.
What did we get Devontae Swift for?
Right.
What did we get him for? Just to say that we got him and nobody else could get him.
Yeah.
That's the only. I'm like, then we didn't turn, man. We didn't turn DJ Moore into a gadget player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you got a gadget player.
Tell you what, a couple things I'm going to say are going to be redundant. But first of all, if you can run 50, drop back for 52 passes behind the line, that same line can turn around and fire forward and pass block 50 times. There's no way that they don't have that same capability. It looks like Shane Waldron and most of the other Bears coaches were not watching this game because I'll give you a couple of stats. Roschon Johnson, 8 carries, averaged just under 4 yards a carry. Okay, 8 catches. 4 catches over 8 yards a carry. So you had at least one running back that was going forward and getting positive yards every time he touched the ball. Why he didn't get more carries? Why he wasn't left in the game more? If he's in the running game as well as the passing game, and he functions very well as an extra pass blocker. I have no idea what's going on. Maybe there's some political stuff going on there, but the game that I saw, that was horrible, and that's the best description I can give to that. Go to somebody else.
Okay, yeah. Offline before we started, Jay asked us what was I think he asked like what we think is going on with the offense. And one of the things I said, and you know what, I actually heard this out of Seattle as well about Shane Waldron. He has no imagination. You have to be able to manufacture. I hear feedback coming back from somebody. You got to be able to create offense when you're struggling, and you got to be able to run power when you're not running well. Look, if it takes you bring one of the big linemen in on the short yardage play on the goal line and put them at fullback, that's what you do. You know, not on any of those short plays, like even on that goal line, did they bring in like a fullback or something, right? I can't remember number 14 name, but that play, this what made that play kind of crazy. You're like a sprint option. Okay, the red zone is so tight that it's hard to run out wide plays unless you run some kind of misdirection. So he runs a sprint option with the quarterback. They come and read it right away. So now he has to shuttle it out to the back who has very little room to work with. That play makes no sense. I say as bad as your offense is right now, you got to take 3 whenever it's there because you don't know when you're going to get down there again. If your offense is good, you can pass up on field goals because you think you could get 7. But when your offense is bad or mediocre, you always got to take 3 because if not, you don't know if you're gonna get there again. So this is a complete failure by the coaches.
You
I
know what,
totally
man?
agree. I
Something
totally
that
agree.
something that we all talked about for like the last 5 years. One thing that the Bears don't have that most great teams have, and that Bird capitalized on it. We don't have that go-to play. We don't have a gimmick one play that we can just pull out our bag and just know we gonna get yards. And I'm gonna tell y'all something that's gonna really mess y'all up. Do you know this year that we're at fourth down conversions, we're at 75%? That's
But
crazy.
again,
It's,
but
it's
again,
just crazy. If
but,
everything else, go ahead,
but
go ahead.
again, it's like, why do we have to settle for fourth? Why we have to go for it on fourth down? Why do we have to go for it on fourth down? You know, that's that's a good stat, but it's also a bad stat as well. You
Yeah.
know, we are continuing to have to go for it on fourth down. Every time I looked at the screen, it was fourth down and inches, fourth down and one, fourth down and three. So now we got to go for it. And it's like, why are we continuing to be in these positions? And it's because there is no merit of the plays, and Shane Waldron just won't stick. You got to stick with something. What again? It goes back to what we said. What is your identity? And after 3 games, we still have no identity. Like who said that? Doc. He was like, DJ Moore is now a Jackson player. Everything they threw at DJ Moore was like a 2 yard bubble screen. Really? This is what DJ Moore is in this offense now. So they gotta establish something. And after 3 weeks, this looks bad. Ain't time to press the panic button. Ain't time to press the panic button. But they need to get it together. They need to get it together, man.
They're gonna call DACA.
This is the stretch. This is the stretch. This is the stretch that they need to find some identity and stack up some wins. And today was a day where you should have got a win today.
Yeah.
You should have got a win today. You got the Rams coming in next week. You know, with what y'all put on film today, the Rams looking like, oh, okay, we without a Puka Kanua and we without Cooper Cup, but they still don't look like they know what they're doing. So we can probably go in the Soldier Field and still a win. So they got to get it together.
Yeah, I agree with you because I told everybody today is a get right game. It was a get right. It should have been a get right game for them. So this is basically saying, look, we ain't played our best football. This is the day we're gonna get right. Forrest Buckner, their best defensive player, didn't even play the game. Didn't even play. I mean, you know, and these youngsters they put out there, they come out there. That other rookie hadn't practiced all week.
All week.
He come around the corner looking like, you know, like he all pro already. So one of the other things I saw, even though I'm not gonna say I wasn't impressed with some of the things Caleb did because I was. But there were a couple of times like he got to give these guys an opportunity to make a play on the ball. Some of these deep balls, like I tell you what, that rollout, he rolled left. It's the same play that he made against the Bengals in the preseason.
Yep.
And then he overthrew him like it was. I'm like, come on, that play has to be made. Like, and I know he's a rookie, I get it, but he's already showed us that he can do it. So of course we're jaded now, man. Like I want to see that play be made. I've seen you do that. I want you to do that again. There were a couple of balls. It was a deep ball that he threw a Dunze. I mean, he had no shot at making this play. That ball was not even catchable. So I was like, man, give them an opportunity. And I think like Nardo, said, one of the brothers said about having that go-to play. All you had to do, you got a mismatch with Kmet on pretty much everybody on the other team. All you got to do is isolate him, throw him a 50-50 ball. It would have been better. That fourth down should have been a 50-50 ball to him or a Dunze and not that option play. That option play was, I mean, he was trying to be fancy. He thought he was smarter than everybody else. He thought he was going to catch them in a different defense. And maybe he saw something he liked and he thought that would work. But no one on that team ever thought, you all know this when playing ball. If you run option, the quarterback has to be someone that has to be accounted for on the run. If they don't think you're going to run the ball, that play's garbage because all they're going to do is attack the pitch man. Is what they did. They had 5 dudes on him. I mean, like before you know it. So I'm like, because if Fields would have been here, that play would have probably scored because he probably would have kept it. You know, they had to account for him. They don't feel like they got to account for Williams like that. He don't run like that. You know, so that play was garbage. They should have isolated him. They should have threw a 50-50 ball to either one of those athletes. You got Komet is good down in the red zone, man. They don't even. I mean, that was the play they should have ran, man. You know, and as much as I still think the offensive line and the worst part about that is, man, there ain't nothing we can do. Then they just got to get better. We can't make any any personnel changes. I mean, we got to live with this for the rest of the damn year. I mean, excuse my language, but man, I mean, we got to live with these dudes for the rest of the year, fellas. That's why I'm saying it's gonna. And I put my heart and soul to every one of these games. I sit here, I take notes. Like I'm getting paid, and I ain't getting paid for this. And I know it sounds silly because even my mom be like, "Why you get so into these games?"
Passion,
like,
bro. It's passion. I feel you. It's passion, bro.
I love these dudes, but they gotta play better.
Hey, damn ain't a bad word.
Hey, my brother Andre said they got to use the tight end more. I agree.
Yeah.
You know what I did see today, I know we had the turnovers. Like I said, that stuff gonna come, and I know some people gonna be like, "Oh, y'all just being apologists for no quarterback." No, that's what comes with a rookie quarterback. But what positive I will say, what I saw was he's better in an up-tempo offense where it seems like he's in a 2-minute drill, right? And believe it or not, it's because he probably calling the plays more, right? And he's coming to the line and canning plays and running it. Because what they're doing when they set, they're predictable, right? 3rd and 4th. How many times you gonna get 3rd and 4th and you don't know what to do in 3rd and 4th, right? After a while, you should know what to do on 3rd and 4th. You should have a play. Okay, worst case scenario, 3rd and 4th should be to commit, right? It should just be a little turnaround route for commit. That should be able to get you 4 yards on 3rd and 4th. But like I said, they have no imagination. They go into this wishbone look like formation where you got 2 guys here, a guy behind them. They never run out of that formation. All the stretch plays are to the left. It's easy to predict. And then also, they still have a problem with spacing to me. Early in the game, it's too many routes where guys are 2 and 3 yards from each other, where the defender is almost defending both players. I don't know if somebody running a route wrong or is that by design.
They too tight. They running the routes too tight, man, because the 2 routes that they have that they marry together, you have one coming in. Just say you got something like an ink. You got an in and you got a curl. You got a curl coming here. This guy ain't supposed to be right here. It's almost like he's kind of flaring out to create some space because it's like last year where you got a cornerback or a safety. You can just sit out there like, you know what, I could defend 2 guys on 2 routes or one with one person. So.
Okay. I want to address. I want to address the shot real quick. He like, why y'all not cooking polls for this terrible O-line hiring a bad coaching staff? Because we in season. We in season now. That ain't gonna change nothing. Just like the brother said, like this offensive line, this is what we got to deal with for the rest of the season. So they either gonna get better or we gonna see just bad offensive line play. We can't. This ain't the time to talk about cooking polls. This is not the time to talk about cooking polls because we in season and this is what we have. This is what we have. You know, we've talked for the last 3 years about how bad our offensive line was. We was hoping coming into this season, he brought a few pieces in, and we thought that they was gonna be able to mesh this together. You know, that's a whole nother conversation, bro. That's a whole nother conversation because if you want to get down to the nitty gritty of it, you know, as much as I like Roma Dunze at number 9, we could have took an offensive lineman right there. So this is a whole nother conversation, but we're not going to go there right now. We're talking about today's game and how we going to get through this season.
But if I birth you and I give you the ultimate package and you take that package out into the world and you only use an inch of it, that's on you.
Yeah. Hey, here's what I got, man. and I gave all y'all the opportunity to get this, and I knew Jay was gonna say this. Our game plan going into Indianapolis, we gave up 500 yards rushing. We dropped back to pass 58 times. 500 yards rushing the past 2 weeks, and we only run the ball 25 times. Let that sink in. That's bad planning.
Not only that fish here, Josh Jacobs had 32 carries by himself last week for Green Bay. And we ran the ball 25 times as a team.
With 4 people. With 4 people, we ran the ball 25 times in 4 quarters. That's almost 6 rushes per quarter. But we dropped back to pass 58 times against a team who's clearly can't stop the run.
Me, Plank, and B got on this show Friday, and they said, what was the key to the game? The first thing I said is swift, 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 and it's either Plank or Bernard. Roschon Johnson. You passed 50 times. And,
well, let this
Paul's been hired at OC. That was I do believe that was a Eberflus hire. Paul's been hired.
Hey, look at this. Think about this. This was Roschon Johnson first time getting in the game all season.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
Well, I'm with you, dog. And dog, like you said.
And that's only because Travis Homer was hurt.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So,
but
what are we talking about here?
And I think everyone is saying is like, it wasn't like we were down like 21-0. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This whole time, that's why they didn't have to abandon the run so early. This game was 0-0. You know, come on, 7-3. I mean, you are possession away from being in front and taking over the game. So you could have. They should have went out there, like I said. They should have went in 12 personnel. Hell, they could have went to 13 personnel. They got another tight end. They could have went and actually, you know, you bring Komet out there with a Dulce. You can throw out of that package. But you can definitely stack the run. You got an extra block in there. Mercedes Lewis is a good blocker. He's a good blocking tight end.
Yep.
They could have went with that package at least for a little bit, man. At least like you got to dedicate we've all said it, but you got to dedicate yourself to the run, man. I mean, truly. And if we were down 21-0, I would understand the drop to 56, 57 pass attempts. I get it because you can't run the ball then. But we in this game. It's a possession game. It's one possession game. That's it.
And if you go back and watch the tape, just go back and watch the game. It's 1st and 10. Bam. Now it's 2nd and 4. We run the ball. 1st and 10. Boom. 6 yards. Now it's 2nd and 4. So now what do? He drops back. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd and 4. Continually. I don't know how many 3rd and 4 conversions that the Bears had today. It seems like every time I looked at the screen, like it's 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4.
You know, you're gonna have to hit the reset as a team. You know, I know, you know, you got a long season to go, but you have to hit reset. You cannot manage personnel based off contracts. You got to manage personnel based off the ability to get something done. Right now, the Bears need to be a downhill running team, but you're making decisions to me based off DeAndre Swift has got a contract. Okay, you can figure that out later with him. Right now, you need to run down the hill, and right now it looked like with Johnson. Even when he's catching a ball, he's getting up the field. He's making people miss. He's not running lateral. He's getting up the field. He's helping you get first downs the few touches he had. So you're going to have to reset on that thought process and play to the strength of your team. I don't know what's the problem with Jenkins this year. Maybe he upset because he didn't get a contract yet. I don't know. But he has regressed. To me, the strength of your line right now has to be Darnell Wright. He has to be the strength of your line. You have to run behind him. But you're running all these stretch plays behind Braxton Jones, which doesn't make absolutely no sense. You run it, then he gets hurt. You bring in another guy, and then you run a stretch play behind the guy that just makes no sense. Hey, what's up, Lemonhead? We got a comment from Lemonhead.
Offensive line effing sucks. And this is why Fields is not successful. Just look at the last 2 weeks. We should be 0-3 first game. Was lucky. Y'all get ready. It's going to be a long season. Now, mind y'all, this is from one of our Bears starters.
This is from
So when he started talking,
ex-Bears player. This is from an ex-Bears player.
Ex-Bears player. So,
couple things, okay?
I can't disagree with it. I mean, but even if it wasn't him, I couldn't disagree with that, man. It's crazy though. I mean, it's like, okay, football, NFL football has been around since what, 1920? And I can't remember, but I've seen footage. Well, I might be old enough, but I can see footage where the ball was maybe passed twice in the game. They would run the ball. You get some teams that get 30, 40 points. What's my point? My point is this. If you go 1st and 10, you run it 6 yards. You run it 2nd and 4, you run the ball. Washington Redskins did that with Riggins. Man, all the great backs that you look at that are in the Hall of Fame right now, these teams ran that doggone ball. And a running back that's effective in a running game is almost like that power forward that can post up. You know you about to get posted up. Everybody know you get ready to get posted up. Your job is to stop it. We got guys that we can get some yards from. I got nothing else, man. Pull my remote control.
I got a couple things to say here. First of all, tight end more. I agree that Cole Kmet should have been in the game plan. Actually, he was. Cole Kmet had 10 catches. I don't know if we could have used the tight end very much more, giving one guy 10 catches in that kind of climate. The main things we're all talking about here is frustration as fans. We're upset. We think the team should be doing much better. And that frustration is actually coming from a couple things. One, we have trouble scoring with the football. Because you know that you have trouble scoring, when you get within distance at 4th down, all of that go for it on 4th down, that makes no sense. We need to
put points on the board.
You kick the field goal.
You got to put points on the board.
Last 3 games that we've had this year, all of the games have been really close. So those field goals would have actually made more of a difference in the game versus trying to go for touchdowns that you didn't get. So I'm pointing to all of these things as an indictment on Coach Eberflus because he's the one that makes the decision whether or not to go for it on 4th down. He's also the one that needs to agree with what the game plan is that the offensive coordinator sets out.
Because
the offensive coordinator just says, I'm going to do all of this stuff and it's on me. It has to be agreed by the head coach. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I was going to cut you off, but what I'm saying, I'm sorry. But what I'm saying is, you're exactly right. Because when you put the points on the board, now the game starts all over again. Mm-hmm. You know, so you put the points on the board, now you kick it off. Are you kicking it to the end zone? Are they going to bring it out? So now they're going to have the ball to 17, 20, 25, whatever it is. But when you decide that you're not going to put the points on the board and you don't successfully get a 1st down, so now the field is short. So it just changes the whole dynamic of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
you know what? Plank made a good point about he coaching the game. When you in that drive where they got that last touchdown, your offense should know if you're going for 2 points in that situation. That should already have been told to them that they was going for 2, right? And now, even though they're excited and all that, but obviously they didn't know because the field goal unit came on the field. Now, they've been and all of them ran off, and they kind of got excited, and him and Caleb and forgot. But the field goal unit wouldn't have been on the field, you know. So that showed that they had not communicated that, which is poor game management by the coach, right? You got to manage the situations, and you got to know when to call timeouts. I think, you know, I'm just going through the whole game. I think he went into halftime again with all his timeouts. If he used one, it was because of maybe injury, but I don't remember him using the timeout before half. He doesn't know how to manage the game. This has been my criticism for Flutes ever since he's been here. I see one of the viewers out there said the guys in Akron, the Colts played the prevent in the second half when they added pressure. You know what? I won't put a lot into that. I mean, he does have some accuracies, but you know what? When you complete 63% of your passes, I really can't say much because that's about average. You should be doing about 63%. So I can't argue the accuracy too much today. And yeah, I know we had 2 picks, but I can't argue the accuracy too much today. I mean, 63% is 63.5. So I mean,
Hey, let me jump in for a second. Now, think about this when they ran that 4th down play, right? If they kick the field goal, now the game is totally different because when
Right.
they ran that play and got even if you run a quarterback sneak and don't get it, they're on a half-inch line. With the defense that you have, you should be able to do something. But if you kick that field goal, now you're not in the discrepancy of do we go for 2, do we go for 1, or whatever, because now it's 14-13. Now you need to stop. It could come down.
It can come back.
Come back and even if you kick a field goal, you're up. So that's mismanaging the game.
Yep.
Mismanagement of the game, because you wouldn't be thinking about, oh, I got to go for 2, 1.
I got to go for 1.
Yeah, because now the game is 14-13, right? And so now you're in a whole different ball game as opposed to 14-9, right? So that's another mismanagement. The other thing is we had the interception at a poor time when we was in field goal range as well. That's another field goal, right? So all of those are mismanagements of the game. That was a poor pass, which got picked off because we were in field goal range.
And not only that, and see, quick, Doc, when you think about that, it was like, did we need to pass in that situation? It still goes back to these play calling. It still goes back to these play calling deficiencies. It's like, okay, why are we passing here? You putting this rookie in a bad position when you really don't have to, and that's game management. That's on our head coach and that's on our offensive coordinator.
Yeah, and to Nardo's point, yeah, his completion rate was pretty good, but we all know there's a couple plays every game that could change the whole dynamic of the game, and that was my only problem with him. I'm gonna keep going back to that, how he missed Rome on that rollout. I mean, that play would have changed the game tremendously. I was early on. He makes that connection. That's the touchdown, I'm telling you. So although he was accurate to a certain point, there was some plays he left out there on the field that would have been impactful, to the actual game itself. So that's my only concern about some of the stuff that he did. And then I also agree, the defense played great again. They turned them over again in the end zone. And then we got this, we got this quick change of possession, and then we turn around and flip it, and we do it right back, So, we didn't take advantage of the turnovers. I mean, that didn't help. That 4th down and 2, when we jumped offside, we gave them we gave them the ball back. They scored after that. So, we just not a team that we got to be perfect, man, right now, man.
Absolutely.
We can't win the way we're playing. I mean, to be honest with you, they made some bonehead decisions themselves. And if it wasn't for some of their decisions that the Colts made, we probably would have been in worse position because they made they're a bad team too. So don't get me wrong. I mean,
oh yeah,
they're bad too, but they definitely made some bad decisions. Hell, the fact that they didn't even return that kick, they could have took the Bears. They gave the Bears an extra timeout when the Bears decided to kick off, which I don't really agree with that. I think we should have tried the onside kick. I know the chances of getting it is not great, but hell, you were going to be in the same position anyway when you needed a 3 and out anyway. You're going to need a 3 and out to get the ball back no matter what. A first down was going to win the game for the Colts no matter which way you look at it. I would have rather taken an opportunity to try at least get the ball back. But, I'm with you, brothers. The thing that concerns me the most is that we got to figure out a way to get the offensive line to be a better unit. They work as a unit. There are not a lot of units, where you see where the play of one can affect the rest of the 4. So they got to get better as a unit. Like I think Wright's a good lineman. I do. I followed him last year. He was mauling people at the end of last year. I think he's a good lineman, but Jenkins is playing way below his level, man. He's not playing good. And like Dog said earlier, he should give his check away. I agree with you, Tinky. He need to donate that check to somebody, and then and we can't wait around for Bates. He's 4 weeks out, 3 weeks out, whatever he is. Pryor's just a guy, man. He's an extra body for depth. He ain't gonna come in there and change nothing.
He's a Jag. He's a Jag, just a guy.
He's just a guy, man. We stuck with it. We stuck with these dudes. The defense going to keep us in every game. I mean, we're going to, man, I'm balled already. So, but, I mean, if you want, you're going to be balled by the end of this year because every game is going to be 16-19, 21-24 because the defense is going to keep us in these games. They're going to score a couple of touchdowns for us. And it's going to be we're going to be a nail biters for the whole season. But I hope and pray that by next week, we got Rams next week, right? So
yeah.
I mean, that team is beat up, and then and we playing at home, man. We got to get a win. We got to stack that Panthers. We got to get the win next week, and then and then we'll figure out we'll go from there. But we got the easiest schedule. We got an unbelievable easy schedule, bros.
Yeah, that's why you gotta play the games. I want to make a comment about what Ghost Jetta Travis saying. I do want to say this: you're not trolling us about Tyson Bagent. I actually thought Tyson Bagent played good last year in the time he played. So Sam playing Tyson Bagent is not actually trolling me. I know it's not trolling me personally. I just don't think that's how you develop a rookie quarterback. Okay, you either gonna let them play or you're not gonna let them play. If you want them to sit a while, you sit them at the beginning of the season. You don't take them out of games once you start them. What you do is if you say, okay, we think our team about to make a run. Okay, if you think your team is gonna make a run at the beginning of the season, then you play the vet and you let the vet play until either something happen or you're not in contention. Right, then you go to that. But if you're trying to develop a quarterback, you have to be sure on what your intentions is. So to keep saying Bajan's name, I mean, I think personally he doesn't have the NFL strength as far as arm strength, but I like that he's an efficient quarterback, right? I do like that. I do like what he. But the amount of pressure that the Bears offensive line is giving it up this year is I don't know who would be successful right now in that offense at all. So I don't know to keep going in circles about that. But hey, that's why you play the games. You could be paper champs or you could be real champs. Right now, they look good on paper, but they don't look good out on the field. The truth of it.
Totally
Hey,
agree.
y'all want to get some grades for the offense before we move over to the defense?
Yeah, we can get some grades to the offense. D minus. There's no way that you have a rookie quarterback, drop back 58 times against a team that's given up 474 yards rushing in 2 games. I'm sorry. There's no way. And people want to say, oh, Caleb ain't the guy. He's not being put in a situation to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, and that's just my thing. And I'm already ready. Everybody gonna talk about what Justin Fields did. I don't want to hear that. Because it's so much bigger than that. So my grade is gonna be a D minus, and a lot of that to me goes on Shane Waldron.
Okay. Anybody else got a grade?
I'm going with F.
They're gonna go with F.
Yeah, for what y'all looking at in film against a team that's giving up that many run yards. Either it's one or two things. Either you looked at the film and saw that these guys were running and you didn't have any faith in your offensive line to lean on the defense to come up with rushing yard, or you just an idiot and want to throw the ball that many times. I remember when I first got to high school coaching, and I sat up under Pete Thanos, God rest his soul. Coach died about in August.
In August.
Coach said, we're gonna do the run and shoot, Mikey. We're gonna run the ball and shoot any son that has ambitions of throwing. When you have a defense of that caliber, you have to run the football and you trust your defense. It was 7-3 going into the fourth quarter.
Yep.
7-3.
Yep.
That game was not over. You are a play away from turning the game into your favor.
Mm-hmm.
F for what the?
I will
Yeah.
get my grade for the same for most of the passes that were thrown. Incomplete. It's like, man, I you know what, man? I got to give him an F because, like I said, how do you run 80 plus plays and you get 16 points? I'm just too through with that. I mean, you know, guys, I don't know. It may take some of these major starters out the game and make them watch these guys that wanted to really try to make this roster and get a spot. I mean, what worse can happen?
Yeah.
Well, the way I look at it, he got 2 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. They kind of cancel each other out. The best grade I'm gonna be able to give him is a D. He's not the one that called 58 pass plays. He's the one that tried to execute them, and he executed to the best of his abilities. That said, he's got to do better. Some of those passes, it makes sense to overthrow or throw out of bounds. All of them, it didn't make sense. And in some cases, he had 50 balls to a wide receiver. You got to take that. You got to take that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a D too. I give him a D only because you know, I mean, I was impressed and I was happy to see Dunze play well. I was happy to see Komet get the ball. I'm glad they start targeting him. They should have been targeting him a long time ago. I've been saying that from the jump. Komet is he is a matchup. I mean, a terror on matchup for the other team. They got to take advantage of him. So, but I'm gonna give, you know, if it wasn't for that, what really upset me is that they, like I said, they just totally turned their back on the running game too early. It was necessary. They didn't have to do that. It was like Dog said, 7-3 going into fourth quarter. That game was at halftime. It's a 1-possession game all the way through into the fourth quarter. You can run everything, every package you have in your scheme, you can run. All the plays are still there for you to use. You know, your whole playbook is still wide open in a 1-possession game. You can run the ball. You don't have to desert the run game just because you're down 7-3. Who does that, man? You're one pass play, you one open run, a breakaway run from being up 10-3. So I mean, like, you know, there was no reason to do that. So that's why I think if it wasn't for Komet and Odunze's play today, I probably would have gave him an F. But they played well, and I was happy to see that. So I'm gonna give him a D.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? Man, I'm gonna give him the grade that Mike said. That's the grade I'm gonna give them. Let's get the other stuff out of the way. Turnovers hurt your team. Fumbles can't be tolerated. When it comes to fumbles, I'm always on fumbles. Okay. Now, what you can't do is put your quarterback in a position where he's actually throwing in that position when that fumble occurred, and you got to clean it up. But Mike, you know what? This is what tell me what your game plan is. Those first 15 scripted plays. Your first scripted 15 scripted plays, or if he may even have more, the first 3 games have been probably 70% passing, regardless of the opponent. So it's telling me you preparing the game. This is your game plan, is the pass, regardless of this team can't stop the run. So offensively, I have to give you an F because your game plan is causing your team to tailspin. Yes, we could get the accuracy a little bit better. Maybe sometimes we could get the ball out of hands faster, but still, that's not the core of what the problem is. The core of the problem to me is poor game planning, poor execution by the linemen, and not recognizing what your identity is you're not going to win a lot of games doing it that way unless your defense wins for you. So you have to be good on defense and on special teams. And what you're doing is making your defense now feel like when they get a turnover, they have to score. They shouldn't have to score for you. If they get you a turnover, you should be able to get your own score. And I do disagree where I saw a comment that all the passes to the right. I wish we could pull up a next gen chart that'll show you. Komet touchdown, all Komet passes were to the right. He caught 8 passes, 10, what was it, 10?
Mm-hmm.
All his passes was on the right side of the field. So to say he only throw to the left, I could dispute that argument because all Cole Komet passes were on the right side of the field. Even his touchdown was on the right side of the field. That's kind of like the dumb argument that Michael Jordan doesn't go left, but you see plenty of film of him going left.
Don't get me started. Okay.
and again, y'all, I just want to say, I said it at the beginning of the season. This season is all about the 3 P's. It's all about the 3 P's.
You said it, yeah.
Playmaker, play calling, the protection, and the playmaker. We got the playmakers. I don't see the protection, and I don't see the play calling. And this is what we fell in.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree with that, bro. I don't. I originally I told someone I thought we would get. And I feel like a fool saying it now because I thought we would get 10 wins because I truly thought that we were going to play way better than this. I'm shocked about how bad the line is playing. I ain't gonna lie, man. I thought they were going to play better than that and I'm basing that on what I saw at the end of last year. Those last 5-6 games or whatever of last year, man. I swear, they don't look like that now, and I don't know why it is. And I'm sure they're trying to figure that out as well. But we can't. If they're not going to roll this kid out and give him some other opportunities to make plays, he should only be throwing the ball maybe 25 times a game at the most. And I saw that at halftime he had threw 25 times.
27.
27 times. Okay, so 27 times at halftime. And at the end of the day, that should be his end total. So, and that's if you're running the ball like you're supposed to, that's how it's probably going to work out. Anyone that plays defense, I was a defensive player, in high school, and I coached the defensive back, so I know how. One thing you don't want to do is be predictable as an offense. I get it. You don't want to be predictable, but if someone is weak at something, then you should exploit it. And they have already shown that they were weak. Now I know they made some changes too. I'm sure they made some adjustments this week, the Colts. But even still with the adjustments, we still should have been able to run the ball maybe at least for 150 yards at least. And we got nowhere near that, So they got to go back to the drawing board, man. And like I said, we are stuck with the team we have. I think the skill sets, I think we have it. And we got a rookie quarterback. It is what it is. He's going to make some mistakes. He's going to make some good plays. He's going to make you yell. He's going to make you cry. So that's just the way it is going forward, and then and we'll see what, he's not CJ Stroud, he didn't, that kid was an anomaly last year, man.
And again,
they
bro.
started out 1-6 last year, didn't they?
I was gonna say, and again, the Houston Texans started out 1-6 last year before they figured it out. So I just totally digress because I get so upset at Bears fans that be like, again, we lost the game today. We 1-2. I'm still gonna say, relax. It's gonna get better. They got to figure it out. They have to figure it out. Now, if they don't, then we're gonna go through another season, just like we did last year, and the year before, and the year before. But they got to figure it out. They got to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm with you. And believe me, I got confidence. I think next, believe me, I go into every game thinking they're gonna win. I'm not gonna lie. I do. And,
because again, as bad as they played today, as I sat on the couch, I'm still like,
We
still in
gonna
the
pull
game.
it out.
We still in the game.
Yeah, I know.
We are still in the game.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't 21 to, like you said, it wasn't 21 to nothing. It
Yeah.
wasn't 24 to 3. We were still in the game.
Yeah.
They're gonna figure it out. They're gonna have to figure it out.
And I think we got to be mindful too. Like, I mean, Minnesota beat the crap out of Houston today. So, I mean, I get sometimes it's matchups. Sometimes you don't match up well against teams, and there's that's another part of it as well. But when I look at our division, man, I mean, it's going to be tough because Green Bay, they're winning games with a backup quarterback. They have an unbelievable coaching staff there, though. The Green Bay's coaching staff is better than ours. Green Bay, Minnesota's head coach is amazing. That dude.
As I'm watching the Panthers put it on the Raiders right now. With Andy Dalton. So
So we
got NFL, man.
It's the NFL, right? So I mean, their team's losing today. That I like Tampa Bay. I didn't think they would lose today. So
Mollywop. They got Mollywop. They ain't lose. They got Mollywop.
There you go. So at the end of the day, next week is a new week. I know a lot of people probably, hey, look, we're Bear fans, but we're not homers. Like we calling it out for what it is.
Call it how we see it.
We see where they're bad. There are some good things that they're doing. Next week we play the Rams. We got to get a win. I swear, I think once they get that victory, man, I think once they can reset themselves and start moving. I got to believe this offensive line can play better than they are. That's all, because they were better last year. They were, man. The proof is in the games. You can go back and watch those games and see how they blocked those last 5 or 6 games. I'm telling you, they can do it.
Until the Bears play a complete game, offense, defense, and special teams, they won't have their confidence. So I don't know who that game is going to come against, but they need to have a complete game where they have offense, defense, and special teams play at an elite level.
Yeah, those who watching us out on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn today, hey, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to Bears Banter Talk Show. Put us. I'm matter of fact, I can take that pregame. We on the post game as we talk about the Bears losing 21-16 to the Colts, and we're gonna move to defense. I just want to make one comment about the offense before we get to defense. The Bears do have some positive takeaways. They finally scored 2 passing touchdowns. Rome got his first touchdown. You got to be able to take those small moments when you coaching, and you got to be able to say, let's continue that, right? You got those touchdowns in the second half. So you have to be able to take those moments and say, hey, if we played like this the whole game, maybe we have 4 touchdowns. I know, some of y'all out there saying, oh, man, we making excuses. I coached for years. That's how you have to coach in the varsity. You got to coach. When you lose a game, you have to coach from the last positive things that happened in a game as the positive thing you could do in the next game. And just like Houston started out 1-6 with a rookie quarterback, they ended up finished the season. What was it, 9-7? I think it was.
I think it was 10-7. But they was in the NFC Championship. It was in the AFC Championship game, I believe, or the divisional. They wound up being. They won a playoff game.
They won a playoff game
after they started 1-6.
Yeah. So, in 2018, the Bears started out 3-3. They ended up finishing that season 12-4. I mean, I just knew that season was a wash right at 3-3. I didn't think that they were actually going to run. And only, think about it. They 3-3, and you end up being 12-4. You only lost one more game that season. Hey, let's move over to the defense.
Hey, Kim Lacey here. She posted.
What y'all got for the defense? I mean, anything?
I got you. I'm giving the defense a C+. They held them to 21 points. I know that in the NFL, you're supposed to be able to win a game that you hold your opponents to under 20. So 21 is right about that line. However, the Bears really didn't have a whole lot of defensive pressure. Strangely enough, they came out with 1 sack. That may be the difference between the number of times that Indianapolis dropped back to pass versus the number of times the Bears did. But, the Bears actually have some defensive improvement we can do as well. But I don't have a whole lot of issues with the defense. Again, C+.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll give them a C. I ain't going to give them the plus. I'll give them a C because, like you said, they didn't have no pressure. They didn't have no pressure today. They got one sack. They had 2 interceptions though. But with a rookie quarterback that's struggling, like Anthony Richardson is, I just felt like there should have been a little bit more pressure on him. And I kind of understood what Eberflus was trying to do. He was trying to drop back his zone and make him throw the football. But that also allowed Jonathan Taylor to get a little loose today too, because they did give up over 100 yards rushing today. So I give him a 6.
Okay. See on the defense. Anybody else got any grades on defense?
Yeah, I give them a C, man. I give them a C as well. I give them a little bit of a break too, man, because these other 2 games they kept us in it, and even though they gave up 21 points, they still didn't break to the point that we couldn't get by. A lot of things, our offense was doing what they were doing. Our defense kind of held us down the last 2 games, but they were kind of, if I could just say a word today from what we're used to, they were kind of pedestrian today. So, C it is.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too, bro. I think it's a C because, and usually when time of possession is usually flip flop, and that's why and I always give the Bears the benefit of the doubt defensively because they're usually on the field more than the offense. Today that wasn't the case.
Right.
Offense was on, so that's why I got a little bit of issue because they weren't tired, so you can't fall back on that. I thought they would have played better. They had a couple of wide open receivers that kind of, that kind of put me on a bad. When I started grading them, I'm like, man, I hadn't seen that from them where someone was wide open or they were chasing them. So I think a good hard C is today is for them, just because of that time of possession. They weren't out there a lot, so they should have been pretty fresh. Pass rush didn't get there as much as I would have liked as well, and that was probably by design. I don't know. I didn't see Kyler Gordon come off the corner as much as he usually does. Usually, Kyler Gordon gets a couple of those blitz packages at least a couple of times a game because he's a hell of a blitzer, and he'll usually get there. I didn't see a lot of that today. So I think a C, Nardo.
Okay, you got to see. Hey, I'm gonna give the Bears defense a C as well. They got to be able to close in on some of those sacks. The last 3 games, they had sacks where it looked like they should have got the quarterback, but they've been allowing the quarterback to extend the play. They had a couple of busted coverages. They were fortunate that some of them Anthony Richardson just overthrew the guy, right? Just a bad throw, but they had too many busted coverages. And then also, it was quite a few missed tackles in the run game. When I say missed tackles, I shouldn't even say missed tackles. There was just some holes in the running game. Nobody touched the guy, right? Great running by the guy, right? Cut and all that, man. But in that part, you know what? And to me, I'm gonna blame as much as I praise the linebackers. I'm gonna blame the linebackers today for over pursuing today because the linebackers over pursued so much today that they actually fail for a lot of some of those misdirections and cutbacks.
Yeah.
So that's what they get to see from me today. And the safeties were invisible today. They were invisible.
They had safeties.
Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I did post this on Facebook. I'm like, Jaquan Brisker actually thinks he's better than he really is.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
I said that a couple of times last year.
Yeah.
But Doc, what I want to ask you is,
He ain't by himself.
what I want to ask you is, as a referee, that play where
as a DB on that burnt ball. Go ahead.
I'll ask you as a ref. As a ref, how does that play with Anthony Richardson come in where he was, and I was screaming it as I'm sitting on my couch, like, he in the grass, and then no whistle blows, and then the ball all of a sudden is loose, and the Bears come up with the ball, and then you hear a whistle blow, and they be like, he was the play, his forward progress was stopped. How do y'all determine that call?
That was a fumble.
Okay.
That was a fumble because he's still. Somebody, I think somebody had him by one arm trying to pull him down. He was still moving. Right? So his forward progress technically was not stopped because he was still going.
Okay,
and so
I agree.
When that ball got knocked out, you didn't hear a whistle. And so now when you don't hear a whistle, now technically the whistle, we think the whistle stops the play, but it doesn't. All right, the whistle alerts everybody to go, that we're going to end the play, but it didn't stop the play. And the reason why I say that is because he was you can't even label him as in the grass. He wasn't even in the grass. He was on the 2 fingers. Like, right, they had him by the jersey by 2 fingers, and he was still pulling them. And the guy is what, 6'5", 240? He's a big dude.
Right.
Right. And so that was a fumble.
A bad call.
And
So it was a bad call.
Another point, dog, like you said, man, as a ref, I know you know that, but he was the other offensive guard or tackle, probably guard. He was still engaged with Sweat at the time. So he was still actively blocking Sweat. And like you said, dog, the quarterback was still trying to pull away. If he would have dumped that ball, they would have gave him that. I'm telling you, if he'd have dumped that ball to a receiver, they would have let him continue that play. And that was BS. I felt like that was a fumble as well. I know we're nitpicking a little bit, but we just got to call it like we see it. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, that's a fumble. It didn't pass the eye test. I can tell you that much.
Absolutely.
Hey, you have a grade for the defense?
Yeah, I got a grade. I'm gonna. Y'all gave the defense a C. I'm gonna give them a C- for that contract. Now, I'm going back. I'm going back, man. Y'all know I ain't the biggest Jalen Johnson fan.
Yeah, I know.
Because of the simple fact, Jalen Johnson is a decent zone player. Richard Sherman was a great zone cornerback. When you start asking this guy to start covering,
Man.
who was the receiver on the Colts anyway? Who was their number 1 receiver?
Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman, supposedly.
But you get burnt by such and such, and what's his name?
Oh, Pierce. Yeah, Pierce. Yeah.
Man,
he came back and got a pick, so give him a break.
Please.
But Pierce is actually their big play guy, though. He is actually their big play guy.
If their quarterback wasn't dumber than ours, that would have been a touchdown, right? He threw an interception right in the middle to whoever that was. That was
Tremaine Evans.
Yeah,
in the end zone.
Yeah. He threw that to Evans, and I'm like, dude, that was crazy because you could have ran the ball too. But anyway, I give them a C-, man, because they got to shore up the run a little bit better. T.J. Edwards only had 5 tackles today.
Yeah, that's not characteristic of him.
That's not good.
I got 3.
They got to be more visible than that. Special teams, when we move over to special teams, you had a missed field goal. What was it, like 56? 56.
Yeah, it was online. That was online, though. I mean, he just didn't have enough. It was online. Yeah. I would have went.
And that actually would have been his career high. I think his career high is 54. Had there been a 54-yard field goal, he would have made it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I'm gonna get him like maybe just a C+ or something. They didn't get enough out of the punt return game, and you had
the kick return.
The kick return. So I'm saying a C+. It was nothing. They didn't hurt the team enough, but they just didn't get enough out of it. And I think they had a penalty on one of the special team plays.
4th and 2.
That's 4th and 2.
Yeah, so maybe a C-. Now think about it.
And not only that, y'all did draft the punter in the 4th round, and he didn't really flip the field today.
Nope.
The scary part about
I'm just saying.
Back of the end zone, and he kicked it 60 yards.
Say it again.
He kicked from the back of the end zone, and the kick went 60 yards. I mean, how's that not flipping the field?
Yeah, but was it difference making? I'm just saying. The overall arching
play is the play that needs to be made.
The overall arching thing that I'm saying is, I don't feel like his play today was eye-popping as bad as for a 4th round punter. That's all I'm saying. I like. Don't get me wrong. I like it.
Quick, you gotta look at that, man.
Hey, brother, let me tell you. You know how bad this game had to be that we're talking about the punter?
Exactly.
Wait a minute.
Truly.
Yes,
How bad is that?
Come on, John. No way. No way, dog. No way. Ain't no way. No way.
I'm just saying.
It
Felix
just
Jones should be
What's
cut.
your special team grade, Jay? You didn't give a grade.
Average. See.
See, okay,
see.
that's the average.
Yeah, C for me too.
That's average.
Me
I ain't
too.
got much
Yeah.
to talk about because it wasn't nothing to talk about. It was C.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give it
Bayless.
C2.
Yeah.
Felix
Let's get to the
Jones.
coaching. Let's get to the coaching.
Yeah,
Let's get to the coaches.
Come on.
Coaches.
I'm going to coach, I'm
WTA.
giving them an F.
WTA.
Yeah,
That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm
that's
giving
my grade.
First of all, if you had the other team, first run stopping team in the NFL, and they got their all-pro defensive lineman that comes up hurt, and there's no way he's going to play the game, why do you not have a game plan to run the ball? That's coaching 101. The fact that they didn't, all the coaches get an F. Chris Morgan, he's the coach of the offensive line.
Offensive
I
line.
don't know between last year and this year is, but obviously he's not getting through what their coaching principles are. He gets 2 F's as well.
I'm gonna get a coaching staff F all around. Lack of preparation, lack of game adjustments, incorrect use of personnel, overusing of your rookie quarterback, not knowing what to do on third down.
Not knowing what to do on a PAT or a 2-point conversion. All of that. All of
All
that.
that type of stuff,
All of
right? That's a F in my opinion as far as coaching.
I give them an R as in rancid. They don't even deserve an A through an F, man. It's an R grade. That's an R.
Anybody else got a grade?
Yeah, F. I mean, you can't give them nothing other than an F. Again, for what the game planning and just at some point as a coach, man, you got to get into your players and be able to motivate them to do something that they're already capable of doing. That was always my thought on coaching. Coaching is the most BS job ever because I got to motivate you to do something that's already in there.
That's already in you.
And at some point, you got to go in that locker room and tell that O-line, y'all need to find some pride. Because if you continuously let people push you around like that, I would have just showed the film from last week. I would have had somebody cut all the bad blocks and made the lineman watch that every day. This is what your family's looking at on TV when they see you play on Sunday.
Right.
Mm-hmm. This is it right here. This is you right here, missing this block right here, right? This is you right here getting bull rushed as a 300-pound grown man. This is you.
And then with all that, you got the back of your shirt hanging out your drawers. Look at
our coach used to tell us all the time, lack of pride. It's a lack of pride, gentlemen.
Yeah.
But you're exactly right, Doc. It's pride. It's all about pride. It's like, how can you go and look at this film and see yourself? Nate Davis, after he watched that film from last week, he should have been embarrassed. And it's like you say, it's a shame that you have to motivate players to do something that they supposedly are already gifted in. And it makes no sense.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Kim? Thanks for tuning in. Kim gave the coaches an incomplete today.
Yeah, that was good too. I'm gonna give them an F because at the end of the day, they didn't make any halftime adjustments. So, and we, like I said, a lot of us have coached. The one thing that we always learned, we came in with a game plan. We thought this was going to work. We spent time on it all week. At halftime, you go in there, you're like, okay, this is no good.
Scrap this.
That's no good.
Scrap
Can't
this.
do that.
Do this.
And for people who are watching this, I know some people don't follow football like we do. I know a lot of people don't understand the game, but adjustments are huge. And it's really just saying, hey, I had a game plan. I got to scratch some of this because it's not working for whatever reason. Maybe it could be personnel based. It just could be scheme based that we had an idea that didn't work. And then you got to make the adjustments. And the good teams and the good coaching staffs make those adjustments so you can come in the second half and go out and win this game. And it was obvious that they didn't make the adjustments. So I give them an F as well. Like I said, if somebody put in incomplete, that would be perfect. That's about the size of it.
Yeah, that's a great point. So they got to get ready for the Rams game, and we're gonna see if they're gonna make any adjustments. What I don't want to hear is people like Tevin Jenkins saying, "I'm doing what they coaching us to do." Well, they coaching you to block. That's the first thing they doing.
He ain't
So
doing that.
maybe you don't like the scheme,
You're
or
a
the scheme
liar.
is not, but they coaching you to block, not to get uh, run back into the back of the quarterback. The quarterback should not have a pocket constantly where he's actually throwing through a lane and you seeing his arm coming in between defenders because you can't even see the quarterback. There were so many throws the last 3 games where you like, how did he even get that ball off? Because the pocket is too congested. So get some pride and stop saying this is what you're being told to do. That's not what you're being told to do. What you're told to do is block. So
He's
do
a
the best
liar.
you can do. And guess what? You know what? I'm not hearing y'all getting called for no holding penalties. Guess what? You may put some whatever color gloves that your defense wearing. You get them guys jerseys. Maybe they're gonna call holding twice on you. Maybe about the 4th time. Mike, no, they're gonna get tired of calling it.
Yeah.
You
Hey,
know,
you should be worried about
yeah,
getting that extra inch. I'm just
you know,
saying.
but you gotta do something to protect your quarterback better. Like I said, hey, all offensive linemen hold. It happens every play. There is a hold. I'd rather you hold a guy to keep your quarterback from getting hit,
Clean. Yep.
correct,
Yep.
than to let your quarterback get popped just because you don't want. I'd rather you grab that guy, hold him, pull him to the ground, and they call holding, and you keep your quarterback from getting hit. Because you know what? When you get hit like that, what we don't never consider is sometimes those guys are actually concussed, or they're on the verge of being concussed from some of those plays, and they just jump up so quick. You may not even think about it, but they rattle, man. You ever get hit
Yeah.
flush like that? Anybody that played offense, no. You get hit like that, you dizzy. You are dizzy as hell.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, man.
Hey, so we get ready for the pregame show. Hold on, we got another grade out there. What we got? Talib
W.
said W. Let's drop class.
To live
Yeah.
going off. Oh man.
He said just drop the class.
He
Hey,
said
but then I'm going,
withdraw.
hey, yeah. O-line not even moving their feet within the framework of blocking, lazy and dead feet. I couldn't have said that better, man.
Hey, John, that's what I was saying about Darnell the last 2 games. This game he seemed like he played okay, a lot better. I was saying Darnell Wright had not been moving his feet the first 2 games, and Jenkins is working from a bad base right now. He doesn't really have his feet under him, and this is why he's getting kind of almost ran over. He's getting pancaked. He used to be the one giving the pancakes. He's getting pancakes because his base his footwork is not as bad, right? As a matter of fact, in any sports, martial arts and everything, boxing, all of it, football, basketball, footwork is so key. If you got bad footwork as an offensive lineman, you probably gonna get ran over.
But
Man,
again,
the
but again,
worst I hated seeing was an offensive lineman running towards me. That's where they get payback. So if you ain't got offensive linemen trying to get out at that second level and hit DBs or hit linebackers, that's where you're able to tell they're not doing their job.
Yeah,
but again, I still say these guys ain't in game shape because guess what? They don't play in preseason. They
Yeah,
still ain't in game shape.
no, I
but
agree, Jay.
They
Hey,
be
if y'all
running
don't have anything else,
great.
I got
Well,
one
you
thing,
know
man.
what? I'll just say this just so you can sleep through the night, brothers. I think this is going to be a season with parity because, I mean, you got the Panthers beating the Raiders, you got the Giants beat the Browns. I mean, this is going to be one of those bizarro seasons, man. I'm telling you, because it's going to be any given Sunday this year, I think, man. Just the way it's starting to fold out in the first 3 weeks, because the Giants suck, man. That's a bad team, bro. And they go in there and you got Myles Garrett. That defense in the Browns is usually pretty good, and they beat them. And now you got the Panthers beating up on the Raiders, and the Raiders beat the Ravens last week. So, I
But
mean,
again, coming into this week too, real quick. Again, coming into this week too, I said a lot of 0-2 teams are good teams, and
yep, a lot of
I
2 and
think
O's are. Yep.
I said it today. I told somebody today. I'm like, the Bears, they going against an 0-2 team out of desperation. And I'm looking at right now, the Ravens started this season 0-2, and they beating the brakes off the Cowboys in Jerry World right now. So I'm telling y'all, it is what it is. It's the NFL, man.
It is, and these are some, and like you said, dog, but these are some talented rosters, though. I mean, like Cowboys got some talent on their team, and they got beat by the Saints. Like, man, they got their brains beat in, and now this happening again. And
guess what?
I guess the only reason, we have a lot to be optimistic about going forward. I know people say, okay, you guys are all diehard Bears fans. Yeah, but we do have things to be optimistic about going into next week. So I'm looking forward to next week's game, as I always do. But I'm hoping for improvement. They got to improve. Hell, they got to get better. So at least Nardo, at least that's something we can take into next week. Like you said, you find the things that you did well. You try to make sure you maintain those things, and then you get better at the things you didn't. And you make the changes where if you can make some personnel changes, do it. It ain't a lot of that available, though. So we got that rookie. That kid hadn't played in a long time, man. He'd been injured. I don't know if he's going to be ever. He was active today, though. He was active, but I'm glad he didn't get any action. But that kid hadn't blocked anybody in a long time, man. So I don't know. If we got to get to him, we're probably in trouble. But let's keep our heads up for next week, fellas.
What you got, Jay, before we close out?
I was just saying, piggybacking off what he said, he's talking about the Saints. The Saints scored, 94 points in the first 2 weeks? I think they lost today. I don't know what the final was, but I know the last time I looked, they didn't even have 20. So,
hey, before we roll out.
It's one of them years, man. We're going to be all right.
Before we roll out, man, I want to give condolences to family, to Eugene, Edward, Mercury, Morris, number 22. That little feedback with Jim Kick and Larry Zonka for that undefeated 72 Dolphins team, man. He was somewhat of the prototype of these guys that became elusive. And a lot of these elusive backs kind of sort of adopted his running style, but they came in a little bigger. But he was one of them cats, man. He wasn't like the superstar, but he was one of the biggest components, one of the bigger components in them going 17-0. So condolences to Dolphins Nation, man. We Bears fans, but we football fans first.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Condolences to the family. Until next week, peace.
Peace.